Traditional instructors, you can just skip this video because you know this. I wrote down here something I got from the essay that Bruce Lee wrote called Liberate Yourself from Classical Karate. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan, and yes, I like Bruce Lee and Vic Moore. And I agree with a lot of the things that Bruce Lee thinks, espouses, etc., except this. This is the one area where Bruce Lee was dead wrong. This line, through instinctive body feel, each of us knows our own most efficient leverage, balance and motion, economical use of energy, etc. And that is not true for everybody. That's why you need forms. There are people who are totally out of touch with their body. They just don't know how to use their body at all. They can walk. You wouldn't think of them as disabled. But when it comes to having enough fight knowledge and coordination to defend themselves, they can't do it. They probably have never had to do it. If you've ever taught, especially if you ever taught anybody under 6, you'll have kids that come in there and know how to fight. And then you'll have some that have no fighting instincts whatsoever. Just none. By the time they grow up, they may be able to cover up a lot of their lack of fighting instincts with ego. Maybe they had one scuffle when they were in the 5th grade and shoved somebody and slugged the person once. But when it comes time to fight, they don't know what they're doing. These are the people that think that just going wild and swinging at the air blindly is enough for you to take out somebody who actually knows a little bit of something about how to fight. And because everybody thinks they can protect themselves, everybody thinks that, oh, I'll just do that, I'll just do that. And that may work on another person who, just like you, doesn't know what you're doing. But for people who've been in enough scraps or who actually have some training, it doesn't work. I used to fall when I would throw a roundhouse kick. It's one of my strongest kicks now, but I used to fall when I throw a roundhouse kick. I've seen adults fall when they throw a roundhouse kick. They think they can do it. This is what gets you. You think you can do these moves because you see kids doing these moves. And then you get up and try a move, and you fall flat on your butt. Some of you, when you're punching, when people are fighting, I've seen grown people hitting like this, smacking like this, an attack that if you stand there and let it hit you, yeah, it's going to scramble a brain. But something you can learn to defend against in no more than 3 lessons, if that. And I'm being very generous. Everybody does not have the body awareness that Bruce Lee said they did. You know what I think he's thinking about? I think he's thinking about natural athletes. People who are naturally gifted with motion and moving and fighting. They may not need to take the forms route. But everybody else flat out does need to take the forms route. Now, you don't have to believe me, but I tell you what. I know you can't fool me. I know, because I started with the no forms approach, where we just got in touch with our instincts and went at each other. I came from that, and I moved into an environment with forms. And while I don't knock either one, when I learned the structure of forms, I got better. I got a lot better. And then when I went out of forms to go and learn how to box, I got better. But then when I came out of boxing and learned even more forms, I got even better. So it's not necessarily a matter of which approach is correct or incorrect. I mean, if you only did forms, then you would have a problem. But guess what? A lot of people that train forms, they do other stuff. They cross-train. I was looking at, after I was looking at one of Martial Arts Tutors videos, I was trying to think, Who do I know that I can honestly say is really pure pure their style? And nobody. I can't really think of anybody I've studied under who's technically pure one style, even though they don't call themselves MMA. Because people have always cross-trained eventually. It's what they do. Everybody gets kind of bored with what's their home base, and they want to look and see how something else is. Even if their focus is just on grappling, they will at the very least look at another discipline. Just like when I was learning judo as an adult, people were like, you don't know this from wrestling and that from wrestling? I was like, well, I didn't take formal wrestling. I wrestled around, but I didn't take wrestling. I wrestled people who took wrestling, but I didn't know the terms. So that means that there was a lot of judoka who actually have wrestling backgrounds and BJJ backgrounds. And BJJ players who have judo backgrounds and wrestling backgrounds, and some of them take boxing, but they teach their style. So this whole thing is really pointless to try to throw away forms. I'm telling you, if you want to teach everybody, if you want to teach people who need help the most, the people who need to learn how to fight the most need to start off with forms. And that's why forms are important. The reason why you don't like forms and why you think they're useless is because you don't understand them. Just say you don't understand forms. And I had some videos on this channel. Just look over stuff. I think one of them is called Forms Applications on a Budget. Where look at that video, and it'll tell you how you can find applications for your forms for no cost at all. So practice your forms, learn your forms. It'll open up your mind. Okay? All right. Peace.